So, just to summarize what we have discussed so far, what are the major challenges for the modern B2B sales teams? First, the information availability. Any buyer has, too much information on hand, and that's why there is a very little influence of salespeople on in a face-to-face meeting, so that you can influence the buyer's choice. It becomes very difficult now, much difficult now. Then, second major challenge at an organizational level, that sales and marketing teams are becoming more misaligned. Why it is happening? Because earlier, let's look at the old B2B sales model. Marketing team job was to communicate about the product so that it reaches to entire base. And I am a buyer. I have heard about your product. How I have heard? Because of the marketing efforts. I have heard about your product. I will call up that company. I'll call up a sales guy. He will come back. He or she will come to me and show me all the available options. I'll make a purchase. So the roles were very clear in terms of sales and marketing in the earlier model. But with the advent of digital and various tools, various platforms, there is a lot of confusion. And that's why there is a lot of overlapping and misalignment between sales and marketing departments. And what has happened, that over the period of time, since the buyers have too much access to information on internet, or through referrals, or through peer group recommendations, that they are very skeptical about any typical marketing campaign which they come across, because they will always try, okay, I'm a marketer, I'm selling my product, I am sending that, oh, these are the top five benefits, and I am the most cost effective solution available. So buyer is not going to take it like that. As if I say most cost effective, he'll do a research on a similar product or the competition product as well, just to validate my claim as a product marketer. So because of all these buyer persona changes, there has been a lot of confusion in the B2B organizations, B2B product organizations, and there has been a lot of overlapping in terms of the sales and marketing teams. I will explain in further detail going forward around it with the examples, so that you understand more clearly what I'm trying to communicate to you on. And the third major challenge is, as I have been explaining, the social media and the peers instead of sales people hold strong influence over buying decisions. So no longer, however smart sales person you are, it has become very difficult to influence a prospect into their buying decisions. So how do we overcome these challenges? Moving on to that. And then here I will explain to you one by one various tools, various processes with examples, that how we can overcome these challenges. So first, what I'm going to tell you, that at an organizational level, that what an organization can do to overcome these challenges. But organization is made up of people like you, people like us. So whatever steps the organization is going to take is directly related to the employee of that organization. It's directly related to the B2B sales team of that organization. So first and foremost is that you have to embrace sales enablement to help prospects make better buying decisions. So now I will explain in much detail what is sales enablement. If you remember a few slides back, I shared with you that you have to accompany the buyer on to their product purchase decision journey. And the journey starts when buyer feels a need. So how you can enable your sales team that, or as a B2B salesperson, how I can enable myself so that I get connected to a potential buyer at the very, very first step. Few examples to further explain it. If we are able to use technology in enhancing and enabling our sales and leads pipeline, then this becomes very, very effective, and this becomes a lot easier. And you can be a part right from the beginning of a prospect starting to research about any solution or a product. How? There are various ways. For example, are you publishing enough content about your product and services onto the internet? Are you making sure that your product is digitally visible, and the whatever content you are posting onto the internet is very, very relevant and to the point and is very catchy? So that, suppose I go back to my previous example, that I search inventory optimization tool. For example, I'm going back to my earlier example of multi-store grocery chain. So I am the owner. I am facing problem with inventory, so I search inventory optimization tool on internet. So as an organization, as a B2B sales organization, I have to make sure that if any person if is entering, suppose I am into inventory management software, for example, I'm a salesperson selling inventory management tool or inventory management software, and that buyer which runs a multi-store grocery format, when he comes online and searches on Google inventory optimization, so am I making sure that whatever search results are being thrown by Google to that prospect, am I appearing in those? So this is the one example, that strategically placing your content onto internet first. Second, how you can use technology. Very, very simple and cost effective thing is email marketing. You may think that, oh, email marketing everybody does, and maybe send out emails to millions of prospect buyer, bulk email sending is happening, and hardly there is any conversion in terms of so you have to understand that there are two aspects of email marketing. You are selling your product or you are selling a concept. So you have to as a B2B sales person, you have to understand that are you trying to directly sell your product, or are you going to sell a story around your product? So that's why this now you will be able to understand why there has been an overlapping between sales and marketing in the current scenario in terms of a B2B structure. Before, it in earlier sense, it was a job of a purely marketing team, that okay, they will send out the product emailers, they will send out but now, if you want to be a successful B2B salesperson, you have to target your accounts, you have to target the industry where you want to focus, you have to get into the database compilation, you have to have the database of your prospect or of your industry, of your region, of your country, at what level you are operating. You are managing a city, you are selling to FMCG clients, then you have to have a list of all your FMCG clients. And when I talk about list, it has to be a digital list, means only phone numbers is not going to help you. You have to have a email address also, or their social media accounts, LinkedIn. So there are various ways. So so what I'm trying to tell you is that to become a successful B2B sales person, you have to enable your sales process digitally by various means. Email marketing is a very, very effective tool. So I want to talk a little bit in detail about it. Because what email marketing does is that, as a salesperson, how you can use it very, very effectively, that this is your first touch point with all your prospect. So what to send, how to send, and when to send, these three decisions you have to take when you are planning a email marketing campaign to your prospects as a B2B salesperson. So first and foremost is that, my as per my personal experience, I can tell you that if you try to sell a product, a direct emailer is not working nowadays. Just to share some data, just on the email marketing global, at the global level, only 21% of your emails get opened by the intended recipients. Only 21%, and that too when they are landing into their inboxes, not to their spam folders. I'm sure everybody here understands the difference between spam and main inbox. So only 21% are opened. And any CTA, call to action, if you have put any CTA there, that okay, user need to click and reply back to you or fill an inquiry form or something, that hit rate is 1.5%. So these are very, very low. Why this is happening? Because we are trying to sell a product directly to a prospect. We should not. What we can do is that we try to sell a solution. We try to sell a story around our product or a service. So, for example, I'm selling software which is solving the problem of inventory management, for example. And I'm working in Vietnam, and I have made my uh, account mapping. I have done my complete account mapping or a prospect mapping, and I have got 100 list of 100 prospects in my list. So how do I start this email marketing campaign? First, if you want to talk about your product, you can go ahead, talk about your product. But as I told you, the response rate is less than 1.5%. So if you want to generate a higher response, you have to uh, completely plan your email marketing campaign or email sales campaign. I would say email, how you can sell through email. So you have to completely plan step by step. First step has to be, you have to make sure that you talk about, you cannot be sending a general email to all of them. Your first email has to be very, very specific to that company or to that person. When I talk about specific, if I talk about FMCG, for example, if you are writing to a writing to a cola or a beverages, soft drink organization, your approach has to be different. If you are writing to a liquor company or a beer company, your approach has to be different. Or if you are writing to a energy drink company, your approach has to be different. So what I mean to say is that you have to tailor made, you have to write a very, very detailed, tailor made first email to your prospect. It will, it may sound very, very cumbersome, but that is how, to become successful, you have to follow these small steps. Step by step you have to move. So this is one example, that you have to tailor made your first introductory email, so that you talk about their products, you talk about the good things about their product, and then you ask them that, okay, what are the general challenges you are facing in terms of, then you just make a case for your product, and don't introduce your product, just leave it there. That what you write, ask that what are the challenges they are facing in terms of their inventory and logistics management, what are the top 3 challenges for you, and then you can insert maybe a response form and ask them to come back to you with your top 3 challenges. Okay, so for example, assuming that 5 or 10% of the people respond, if you write tailor made emails, the response rate are generally 20 to 25 to 30%. Response rate, open rate can be higher. So once you get a response that, okay, these are the challenges they are facing, then your follow up email should go, talking about those challenges in much detail and asking for further inputs. Okay, here you can pitch that you will be happy to get onto a virtual meeting or a call to discuss this further and test the user interest. This is a step number 2. Then, depending on the user response, if the buyer agrees or if the prospect agrees that okay, you can have a call, you make an appointment, have a call, then then talk about needs, talk about the problems in much detail. Don't ever pitch your product till now. Just understand in much depth that what are the needs of that prospect, and then next step, you need to pitch in your product, and then pitch your product as a complete solution to the buyer needs. So this is how a typical modern day, using email, you can build your sales funnel, and then what happens that as a B2B salesperson, what was the objective of your writing emails to various people? The objective was to get a lead, sales lead. Okay, create a sales funnel, create a lead pipeline on which you can work further and convert them into sales. So as I mentioned earlier, that sales cycles have become 22% longer as compared to previous times. So you'll have to invest a lot of time in terms of educating, talking, need gathering, and you have to carry a problem solving approach. You have to pitch your product or your service, whatever you are selling, as a problem solver. That is the difference, that you cannot be selling a product on the basis of product features. Those features have to marry with the needs, have to marry with the problems, have to marry with the issues being faced by the prospect. Then you will be able to close a deal or make a deal or close a sale. Okay, I will further explain this, that in terms of a B2B operations perspective, that what happens. A typical B2B operations, in any company, there is a lead generation, then there is a lead nurturing, and then there is a proposals, and then there is a agreement, and there is a final closer. This is how typically 4-5 blocks of the entire B2B operations. So what happens is that at every step of these 5 blocks, you have to make sure that how you are using technology to address all these 4-5, or it can be 6 depending on the product, it can be 7 steps also. There are various examples, and but the point I want to make here is how you can make sure that you are using technology to address or attach yourself at every step of the buying process. That is most important. And as an organization, if I am running a B2B organization, then my biggest strength has to be my sales people, has to be my spokesmen or spokeswomen or spokesperson for my brand. What do I mean by this? That means every salesperson who is into a B2B kind of a sales has to be the brand ambassador. Brand ambassador, when I say, I mean that has to have 100% full knowledge about the product. That is the first and foremost requisite before entering into any kind of a sales pitch. If you don't know your product, you cannot sell. You cannot even generate a prospect, because if you don't know your product, you will not know the target market, you will not know whom to pitch, how to pitch, what to pitch. So the first is, I have a starting point. You work for any organization, you are selling any product or you are selling any services, you have to make sure that your product knowledge about that particular product, is a technology product or a general solution or a software solution, you have to be completely updated about the features and the product. 100%. You have to be a walking Bible about that product or a service. So then only you can become a brand ambassador. You will become a brand ambassador for your company. Because if anybody, if you are you meet any prospect at anywhere through digitally, through virtually, and if you have complete knowledge about your product and services, then you will be able to address the queries. You will be able to handle the objections of the prospect very beautifully and in a very effective manner. And third step which the B2B organization need to take is that you have to align, the organization has to align sales and marketing teams to work towards the same goal. So just to explain you in terms of uh, organizational scenario, I will come to individual B2B salesperson traits and explain further. But at an organizational level, I think very quickly I will share with you